Thanks, Basil. I just want to give you a bit of an insight into the Saturday afternoon team. We're a bunch of unique individuals.
Hello and welcome to episode 22 of the podcast. We have all the boys alongside with me once again. How we going, lads?
Going well, mate. Should be a good episode.
Yeah, no, good to be back into it and can't wait.
Good to be here. Great to be here, lads.
Great to have you all alongside with me today. We'll get straight into it and we'll get into the punishments from what was last weekend. So fortunately for four of us, we all got our certainty tips right for the AFL. But Mansell, you unfortunately got one of your NBA predictions wrong. I think it was Celtic to beat Atlanta in their third game, but Atlanta actually got the surprising win.
Unlucky.
With a incredible Trae Young performance. So how are you feeling with the punishment ahead?
Well, I mean, I think common sense should hopefully prevail, especially, with obviously now, I've been roped into it and all that stuff, and I'm now on the flip side in the danger zone, and hopefully my due diligence will hopefully make it lighter on me.
He's a bit rattled here.
I can't even speak.
Look, I've been there. It's not great being in the hot seat, and I can just feel Mansell's nerves there as he's speaking. Look, when I did that faithful tip, piss week Brisbane side, a few weeks back, it wasn't good, but I guess Mansell's in the firing line. It's a different feel, but it's the new norm.
And it's a bit of a different punishment this time because, Blair, you might have to explain this one to the viewers and listeners out there, that Mansell's actually going to be doing two punishments.
Yeah, two first-level punishments. We pushed hard to implement the death penalty. Didn't work. We tried hard, but so he will be doing two punishments, both first level. Due to he's went wrong here. A suggestion was put in by one of the faithful supporters of the podcast and panel member.
Yourself.
And panel member. And the suggestion was swim in the moat, the Trobe moat. It's quite a murky water.
Which is, a river or lake at Trobe University.
Yeah,
campus.
It's quite a murky water channel that goes through the campus. Yeah, look, I put that suggestion in, and Mansell, with his access to the social, has deleted the suggestion. So removed it, any trace of it. Thank God it was in my mind well and truly. And we want to implement the moat as not part of the punishment. He fought very hard against that, so we have elected to take up his offer to go two first-level punishments, which on this occasion, the first of the punishments will be Latrobe footy training.
From James Toomsy.
Yeah, shout out to Toombs. Toombs really wants to have a run alongside Mansell. And so Mansell will be participating in Latrobe football training. So that'll be good. We'll see if his word stacks up to his junior days and how good his goal-kicking season was. Yeah. And the other one will be eating chilies, which we actually have in store for him today. Owen, would you care to... he's got the little bag.
God.
Just went to the supermarket
and
before.
I'm not sure that big water bottle is in the clause to be used.
I picked two. Just
ripe, very ripe. Look at that.
Yeah, and the highest Scoville rating possible. Just a really
You've got your choice, which one you want.
You got a medic on standby as well?
You've got... which one you want?
No.
The smaller one, the better probably. So... Yeah, the one on your left, aka my right.
They're cherry ripe too. They look fire.
I don't believe this is first level, but
we're doing this live on air. This is a suggestion from our very own
Chaz Roberts. And shout out to Angus McGregor, also said ghost chili peppers, which I'm not sure we were able to implement them of that high scale, but we do have some chilies here, which... if you boys thought those buffalo wings were hot, well, have a look at this.
Oh, my God.
Here we go.
Oh, it's a nice crunch.
Oh, real crunch.
Good start.
Oh, he's calling it.
Oh, hands on head.
He's going to a zen state.
It's a good start, actually.
You see his face
got a bit
there?
red there.
Oh, his face there is like... Oh.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
Wait,
It's done.
but we just need the aftermath. Okay, another one.
No. One's enough.
Well,
How
we
was
got-
it, mate? Are
we
you
got
breathing
two here,
fire?
we
or-
might as well double
Did
up.
all
I could
right.
breathe fire, but yeah.
A little
I
bit
guess
red.
I guess I bought a second one for a reason.
No.
Yes, we have to go there.
No.
That's harsh,
I
that's
did
harsh.
one.
Nah, two were there. Two's part of the service. Come on, Mansell. Come on, lad. You can do it.
Hey,
Hang on.
What's he doing there? Okay.
All right, fair enough.
We'll let him have a drink. Oh, he's going hard on the water. Have a look at that. Yeah, that's although I have heard that water doesn't actually make it better. It makes it, you need a bit of milk for that sort of stuff. But yeah, well done, Mansell. Is it still burning, mate?
A little bit.
Yeah. You've handled it pretty well.
You've done very well there.
It looked like the eyes were getting a little bit misty, which I wouldn't blame you. I mean, my eyes were nearly watering from the dew heat over here. A bit of heat in there?
Yeah, a little.
Well, I mean, yeah. So that's a
Considering I
taster.
can't eat sweet chili chips, yeah, that's something.
You've
There's
done
still
well.
there's still a tiny bit of base left.
Come on.
I think if Rhonda says one more thing, those both
He'll
will
be
be
ta-
in his
yeah.
down his gob, and his face will look like his hair.
Due to my susceptibility to heat and hot food, I already know if I get a punishment that it's probably going to be, on the cards, especially with that buttered chicken incident a few weeks ago.
Nah, shout out to Mansell. Well done. And he's got the Trobe footy training standing ahead of him to come. And look, we wouldn't want to make a wrong step in the future weeks or, that moat. It doesn't go anywhere. That's all we'll say. So, yeah.
We'll move on now, though.
Get some milk, I'll be back.
Oh, it's
I
kicked
need
in.
milk, yeah.
Oh, he's out, he's
It's
out.
kicked in.
It's finally kicked
Oh,
in.
it's a late.
This is the reaction we wanted.
He's gone. He's
I'll
gone.
be back in a couple, guys.
Well, we
Well-
got him. We didn't get on camera. Oh, did we get on? We got on camera.
We got it on camera.
So obviously the chili was a late effect.
He put on
He put on a brave
yeah,
face.
he really did. He gritted the
I
teeth.
think the
in.
water made it worse. Like what you said, he had
Yeah.
2 massive gulps, and
Yeah.
maybe that's when it kicked in.
But just then when he was leaving, there was nearly tears. So I mean,
It's probably throwing up right now.
yeah. I mean, the show must go on.
The show must go on.
There's been a bit happening in the last week. Just Connor, your bloody little section here looks a bit jocked up. You want to tell me?
Always is. He loves the mic.
He loves a bit of me time. Footy. I mean, actually, look, we'll go to footy. Latrobe footy firstly. We'll go to Hugo before yourself, Rhonda. Look, an incredible game, mate. In the ruck all day, you were a bit nervous going into it. Didn't know if you could run it out, but you were everywhere. Kicked a snag, missed a snag. But the kicked one was the main one, and best on. But I'm not sure Greg was still happy with it, was he?
Oh, I was reasonably pleased with
That's
it, but
big.
he did have I sort of looked at him up. It was on the balcony at half time, and I just missed an absolute sitter in front of goal.
20 metres out.
Yeah, 20 metres out, 20 metres of space. No one near me and missed it. And he had a few choice words, I think he mouthed to me. So, but nah, that was all right. Rhonda played pretty well as well, actually. Got his hands on the pill a fair bit. Up in the forward pocket, played pretty well.
The 1-2 combination of you two, actually. Connor, the releasing hands to Hugo, obviously missed the one, and then redemption. Connor gets the handball out and snapping goal. First goal in the Trobe colours, was it?
Yeah.
How was that? How was that feeling?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Rhonda didn't let go of me for about 30 seconds, which we love. But it was a good feeling.
Yeah. No, Rhonda, how'd you see the game, mate? It's obviously a really good win for you boys. Fought hard against Swinburne.
Yeah, look, I thought we played pretty well. It was a much improved performance from the first round. I don't know if the opposition were quite as good as what we played, as what Hawthorn were, but we just did everything a lot better and were more consistent in terms of our pressure and sort of ability to consistently win out of the midfield, and we didn't kick the best. So, look, we probably should have won by sort of 8 or 10 goals in the end rather than 5, but a win's a win, and we're happy with that. And I actually was doing a little bit of research, watch the game back, just to, put Hugo's game in numbers, really put it in numbers, and I studied it intimately, so we might just reel off a few stats for the big fella.
Do you really watch the whole game
Yes.
and record
Oh.
every stat?
I skipped through, we skipped through a little bit until, but you got to stay, pretty with it, because he was in the ruck pretty much the whole day.
This
So,
is credit from you, Ron.
so on the footy, so, so we'll reel him off.
I mean, I think it's what the viewers wanted to go through Hugo's stats. Toombs obviously was pushing pretty hard to hear about the performance.
I've also got James Toomey if he really wants to know.
If we have time.
But Hugo O'Callaghan, 13 kicks, quite impressive. 8 handballs, 21 disposals. He
In the
thinks he
ruck.
didn't have that much, but I guarantee you he did. Had 5 marks, pulled down 5 big grabs. Couple tackles, 1 goal, 1 to finish it off, and obviously plenty of score involvements as well, but I didn't quite get that down. But maybe the most impressive stat, 47 hitouts.
That's incredible.
It was a high stoppage game, so he got a few cracks at it, but he didn't lose many hitouts. Maybe a couple late when, he was a bit fatigued and the other bloke who was playing on him had done nothing, but...
That's a game.
And 22 to advantage.
Whoa, that's... We thought
Tell you
Maxie
what.
Gawn was having a crack.
I'll tell you what, he'd be handy in Supercoach.
I mean, Connor,
Absolutely.
if only you could sneak him into your side, mate. You're in real trouble. You need a performance like that.
Oh, absolutely. And, that just shows how impressive he was. And it made a real impact to our midfield as well. I think...
Best on as well.
Especially, best on. I think Sam O'Donnell, one of our midfielders, was second best, played so much better just for having sort of Hugo there, like a really good tap ruckman, and obviously good around the ground as well. So I know he's a bit under the weather at the moment, but fingers crossed he can get up for this weekend and, tear it up once again.
You're feeling at home, Hugo, at your new club?
Yeah, it's a good club to be at. The boys have welcomed and the girls have welcomed me in really well, so it's been good to have. I'm really enjoying playing with Trobe at the minute.
And obviously it was the flag unveiling as well for you guys, because you obviously defeated Swinburne. The seniors defeated Swinburne universally last year. How was that?
Yeah, so that was another pretty special part of it. After the twos played, they unveiled the flag and we were just all sort of in a line and, all sort of arm in arm. And, it was a nice little special moment. And funny how it works out that we were playing Swinburne, having knocked them off last year, which made it all the more sweeter. And, once they were going through the formalities of it all, you could tell a few Swinburne blokes, especially in the ones, just drop their heads and look quite flat with, what had happened last year, still being pretty raw for them. But, really special day all in all. And move on to this week against Wattle Park, and hopefully we can come away with another win.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, we'll move on to Mansell now. He's come back after his little pit stop. Just got a Dare.
I don't even know what we've talked about, so
A Dare iced coffee espresso. Very
that was
nice.
the only thing there, so.
But Mansell, let's get into what you've been doing last week. Obviously umpiring. How's that been?
Actually, well, just before I touch on umpiring, obviously I walked in and you guys were talking about footy. I think I'm going to guess that you guys have already mentioned about Hugo's heroics.
Yep,
absolutely.
The fact that he's a Hall of Famer already, only playing 2 games. I do want to say this, though. Again, I have no idea what you guys have been talking about in the last sort of 5 minutes, but I know you were obviously, Hugo, you did have one chance to pretty early on in the first half, which, correct me if I'm wrong, you were wide open, probably about...
Yeah, we
20
covered that.
We covered that.
You're taking it back through PTSD.
Yeah, but there is one part we did not cover, which I'm guessing you definitely didn't cover. I was in attendance, obviously, as well, but my dad ended up coming along as well. He was there for a little bit. My brother was playing on the soccer pitch over the back, so he came down and wanted to see the great man in action, and Connor as well. But yeah, and yeah, so we're over there. He only just told me he got there, and then probably about 30 seconds later, Hugo runs into an open goal and misses. And my dad, I kid you not, sent me a message saying he wouldn't get a kick for St Kilda if he kicking like that. So, do you have some words for him? Given I will give you a bit of insight. He is a Carlton supporter, so do you have any words of retribution, I suppose?
No, I'd say he's right. St Kilda are flying at the moment. If we want to
Quite a compliment, really.
We're 5-1. Cheddar Owens probably should be the Rising Star winner at this stage. Jack Steele playing with one shoulder basically. The man's a freak. Still yet to get Max King back. Jackie Billings. So I'll take that as a compliment because the Saints are flying at the minute. So which we'll touch on later, I hope.
We will, definitely.
Yeah, but anyway, on to umpiring. So I was out at Sandringham on Friday. good day for it. It was under 16s, Vic Metro, Vic Country. Good to get the boys out, Connor and Hugo. But, I'm not going to touch on the actual umpiring performance itself because there is something we need to uncover here, and we need some truth to this story. I would like to welcome Connor Burns to the stand. So I'm going to read out a statement from Friday night.
What now, man?
I said, all right, let's go here. If I can read. On a breezy Friday night after my game at Sandringham, myself, Hugo, Luke, a mate of mine from umpiring, and our favourite redhead went to the Glass House in Caulfield for dinner. The hours passed while we chatted at the lovely establishment. Then it came to leaving time, and Mr. Fix-It went to leave a Fix-It job in the lavatory. And because Connor was as blind as a bat, I had to direct him to the shit station. After the excrements were dispossessed, we exited the building, and that was the end of the night until we got back to uni. Now, Connor, I've got to ask you a question. Is it true that in that passage you left something behind, and if so, what was it?
Yeah, that's probably the only true part about your whole story there, mate. It's all absolute shit. But I left my wallet there. But look, without going into too much gruesome detail about it, because there was a few events that really led up to it, I'll sort of say how it was, man. So went to the toilet. They had one toilet in the place. Go to sit down. No toilet paper. So I get back up before I've committed to it, which was huge, which was really huge. And then I thought, nah, there's no toilet. And then Mansell's like, oh, I come here all the time, I've been here. Just go through the casino. So the toilet you could actually go to use both services, I guess, was out past the casino, mate. You had to just about walk a K just to get there, mate. So understandable. I didn't know where it was. It wasn't good in there. I was in there for quite a while. And then when I walk out, when I finally finish proceedings, Hugo and Mansell there, you're like ready to head. So I'm like, yeah, why not? I think we've been here a few hours, been a nice little time. And then I get back to uni, and just as we pull up, I feel for the pockets. No wallet there, and then it all hits me, and I was quite scared after that, and couldn't even get back into NASA, to be honest, because I didn't have my card. So it wasn't ideal, but rang them up. They said they found it. Thank God, and I think it was Monday. I went down and wasted 2.5, 3 hours of my life just retrieving my wallet. It had to be done.
It just sounds like a typical Connor Burns story, I think. But yeah, luckily you found your wallet, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I was pretty worried. It's a bit typical, but you can understand why I've left it there if you were there. Because, we were outside. I've gone on the toilet for a while. The boys are like, you ready to go? So I just forget about it. I'm not going to take the wallet to me for the toilet, I don't carry toilet paper in my wallet, so...
But you have pockets in your pants, don't you?
Yes, I do, but I don't really need my wallet there, as well as my phone as well. I don't need that. So, you can understand what happened if you're really there and experience the moment. But, I was pretty worried at the time, and unfortunately I have a bit of a habit of doing these things, so I might have to reflect and sort of work on myself.
Yeah, maybe.
So that's everything from umpiring for you?
That was umpiring. Umpiring, good game. I had one of my best I've had this year.
Day out.
Yeah.
Can confirm, man. He was pretty
good.
spot on.
He was best on.
A few of the young fellas giving him a bit of chat. One of the young fellas attempted to take the game footy, and then Mansell at 3/4 time, I thought he'd let him go. He said, nah, champ, come over here. Drop the ball back, mate, and put him back in his box. So it was good to see, but man on the rise, that's for sure, Mansell.
Yeah.
Rightio. We're going to Blair now. Did you go to the Melbourne-Richmond Anzac Eve game with Connor as well?
No, with Jazz, actually.
Oh, Jazz, how was that?
She's a Melbourne fan.
Yep.
Obviously, we went head to head there, and this time we wore our respective colours. Look, it started off well. I was a little chuffed. I was sitting there, bottom of level 4, having a little grin, watching the Tigers pile a couple on. Noah Cumberland 3 in the first. Life was good. Sort of as the game progressed, started turning a bit worse for wear. And look, there's no other way to put it. I was getting pretty disgruntled, frustrated, sort of just staring out at the ground, just not giving Jazz much. I was a bit upset, and just to lose like that was quite disappointing. But it was a lovely night, and I mean, if I can't win, she did. So there's a win there, little wins. But it was a good game. It's always a good spectacle. I think I've been to the Anzac Day Eve game. I went last year with Jazz, and I think the year before I went with Connor before we were down at uni. So I've been to a few of them now, and it's always nice. It's a weird vibe sort of on a Monday night, but I really enjoyed it apart from the outcome. And Tigers were impressive for 3 quarters, but unfortunately fell away, and D sort of got on top there and didn't use their chances. We kicked ordinary in the last, and that was a bit disappointing. But I mean, we're 1 win after 6 games, so it leaves us in a bit of strife there. Connor, you're obviously there too, mate. It was, as a Richmond fan, not ideal, but
I was obviously a good occasion, and the Tigers, like you said, played pretty well. But I was sort of tense almost all the way through, even when we were up by a bit, because obviously Melbourne are a great side, but there's been pretty much every game this year we've had a chance to win it. We've been in a position where if we really just put our foot down and executed when we needed to, we could have definitely won all the games, but we just haven't. So I was tense that they were going to come back, and I thought we were pretty stiff not to be up by more at 3/4 time. I think a lot of goals that they kicked, they really just scrapped forward and found something out of nothing. And on another night that, they wouldn't kick some of those goals that they were kicking. But in the last quarter, I think it was 0-5 to 4-1 or something. And disappointing, but not unexpected. But I was really pleased with the midfield, and especially the way the young fellas tried to sort of tackle Gawn and Grundy. They got on top of it in the end, but they were always going to. It was just at what stage in the game. So I thought Samson Ryan was very encouraging. Could have easily kicked sort of 3, but provided plenty for a bloke in his 6th game. And I think I hope, but I think it's going to turn pretty soon. If we get a few more back on the park.
So it was a good game. And then obviously all else really I've been up to is last night had a little double date with Jazz, Dom and Gracie, shout out to them, went to Holy Moly. Tried my hand with a bit of mini golf last night. There's no polite way to put it. Jazz and I were absolutely shit house. We couldn't, I was getting 6s, and I think we lost overall.
What was the par?
Maybe 2. I was having a dirty night on Little Burke Street, and it was not good. The end result, I think we probably played about 12 holes, snuck a couple in extra after the 9, and we lost our overall score. Jazz and myself tallied up 76, Dom and Gracie 59.
Yeah, it's a smash.
So, and I think, it might have been 79 to 52 or something, and I think, I skimmed over a couple plus 3s, so for us that wasn't great, but then went and had a few sort of drinks down the I don't even really know where we were, somewhere in the city, and got home a bit later. No, we don't know the smoke too well, but somewhere down near Fed Square, had a couple drinks in a little bar, which wasn't quite as sus as the old bar that Hugo and I ventured down to that day, but it wasn't great, and they didn't know what VCRs were, so that wasn't great either. But got home probably 12:30 this morning, and then obviously Clarko presser this morning, so. All is, and that was good. That was part of our class. Obviously, we're all going to go to a press conference, so listen to Clarko talk for a good 20 minutes. And I didn't ask him a question, a bit scared, but Bevo tomorrow, we'll try our luck. But Owen, mate, yourself, obviously pretty busy last sort of week for you. You had footy, a 21st, and trip down to Anglesey with the boys.
It definitely was a bit of a busy week for me. Footy on Saturday. We got pumped by 105 points, I think, about that, against Old Camberwell. Fair to say, it's not that we played bad. They were just bigger, better, stronger, faster, you name it. One guy kicked 10 goals.
Yeah.
He's about 6'7". He just marked everything. So hopefully they move up a division because I think the team they played last week, they beat them by even more. So it was a tough game. I should have not played, honestly. I was playing with an injured wrist. I'll be missing out this week. But yeah, I struggled a bit to just get clean possession, and I was in the back line for most of the day, but I also got thrown around the whole field. So, but yeah, no, it was a tough game, but we'll bounce back, that's for sure. And then that night, I had a 21st. Shout out to Zach. His 21st at his house. So he lives all the way up. He lives further than Whittlesea, so it was about a 50-minute drive from my house to his. And I had the job to, drive everyone home, so made sure not to drink. But yeah, great night. He's a really great bloke, Zach. So, great night with his family and, other friends, that's for sure.
Happy birthday, Zach.
Happy birthday, Zach. And then Sunday morning, Mum and the brothers, we got in the car and we drove down to Anglesea, and we were there for the long weekend. Really nice down there. We were kind of in like a safari tent cabin. Like it wasn't an... It was,
glamping. Sort of a glamorous camping
Yeah,
vibe,
it was really cool. Like you could kind of go in the cabins that I guess we were in Phillip Island. But we were in like this real big tent thing, and it was really good. Like I really recommend if you ever go to one of these campsites, get a safari tent because it was really enjoyable. We went, in Anglesea. We stopped by Geelong before getting to Anglesea. We went down a little to Lorne on the way back, sightseeing. So yeah, it was really good. Hopefully we have a couple more family trips like that because it's really enjoyable. But yeah, that's what's been happening with me. It's good to be back with you boys, that's for sure.
Yeah, now back into the routine of university as it is after the Anzac Day break.
Yeah.
So bit of sports chat, boys.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get cracking.
Rightio.
Mansell, take the reins, mate.
Yep. So obviously Anzac weekend of football. Should say, even though it was played on a Tuesday. But it's definitely some action there. We'll start off with a few games. So the Dogs got it done against Freo at Optus as well. Pretty comfortably. Port get it done over West Coast. Brisbane beat GWS with Charlie Cameron kicking 7 goals in that match, and some other games as well. We'll shine the spotlight on some other games, but we'll just go through these first. Adelaide beat Hawthorn in a close one by 3. Then we have Gold Coast comfortably over North Melbourne. But let's track back to Saturday night, and Owen, I know you're going to be pretty pleased with this one. The Cats get it done over the Swans in the grand final rematch by 93 points.
Worse than the grand final.
Yeah.
You couldn't have thought it could get any worse for the Swans than that, and a greater margin. Like they got mental demons, those guys.
We gave them a bath, that's for sure. Cats are back.
Yeah, there's just having a look at some of these stats as well. You were plus 76 in disposals. We spoke about efficiency inside 50 last week. I know Bleedy touched on that. Have a listen to these numbers. Plus 27% in efficiency inside 50. 59.3% for Geelong compared to 32.7%. And then, the big stat here, 22 marks to 5 inside 50 in favour of the Cats as well. There is one question I want to ask you, though, Owen, being a Cats fan, and then I want to get everyone else's thoughts on this too. Obviously, Jeremy Cabot has kicked 27 goals this year, including 5 he kicked on the weekend. Is he a chance to kick 100 goals this year? Do you reckon he will?
Look, I'm going to be hopeful and say yes, but all it takes is for one game. For the rest of the season, one game he might kick 1 goal, 2 goal, and then he's down and down below the par that he should be at. So look, it's going to be really tough to get 100 goals, that's for sure. I reckon he'll get close if he can stay fit for the remainder of the season. But if he can honestly continue the way he's playing, even if he kicks 2 or 1 goal, a week, but gets that 20 touches, moves up the ground, and contributes a bit more to the play. I mean, that's all we can ask for, really. I mean, he's having an incredible season so far. He'd be up there, in the Brownlow votes, honestly. So, Yeah, he's such a damaging player. But yeah, to answer your question, I'd probably say no. But being a hopeful Geelong supporter, it'd be great to see him kick 100. That's for sure.
Boys, thoughts?
It would be. I kind of want him to get there, and there's other guys that have been floated around, but yeah, he's definitely the main one and the best chance. And you see it unlikely because, like Owen said, it only takes sort of 1 or 2 weeks to drop off in terms of your goal tally to almost make it impossible. But it's going to be tough. But I'd love to see it happen. It really takes you back, to the good old days where they were kicking 100 regularly.
Yeah, I think he's a chance, obviously, but I don't think it will happen. I mean, he always seems to get a hamstring injury every sort of once a year type of thing, which I think might come against him at some point during the year, but it would be good to see someone kick 100.
Yeah, pretty much like all you boys. I don't reckon he'll get there, but he's had an incredible start to the year. I was just looking at some of his stats, and 27 goals, 7 as well. He's not missing them. Kicking at 69% efficiency for goal. Score involvement's 54, which looking at the rest of the goal leaderboard, that's by far, that's leading the comp, I think.
And not 9 a game, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, and 27 goals he's got. Next highest, Charlie Kerner, 21. And Charlie Cameron's 7 gets him to 20. Apart from that, there's no one really competing for it. So I think he'll win the goal kicking well and truly. But I don't reckon he gets to 100. But geez, it'd be good to see. I don't know who you boys have last round, but
Saints.
No chance.
You'd love to go to a game though, and for it to be a genuine possibility late in the year that he could nearly get to 100.
Yeah.
And just sit there and go, geez, this is if he gets to 100.
Even if he was 10 away
Yeah.
in the last round, that the spotlight would be on him, and even if, let's just say we're safe in the 8, or we're not going to move up or down the last game, we'd just be targeting him in the inside 50.
Yeah, that'd absolutely feed him.
He'd play the Tom Hawkins role. He'd be in the goal square all game almost.
Yeah, it'd be incredible to watch something like that. But we'll see. He's got to keep it up. But he's right now, he's got to be. He is one of the best players in the comp, if not the best, and he's got to be close to leading the Brownlow with your sort of Nick Dacos guys.
Yeah. Well, actually, funny you bring that up. I will get to that question when we go over the Anzac Day game, but. Just quickly on Jeremy Cameron, he's on par with the last, I think, 4 guys that have kicked 100 goals in a season at 27 goals at this time of the season. I think Buddy had the highest at this stage at 30. But yeah, 30 between 27 and 30 has been that sort of area that they've been kicking at this point in the season. We'll move on now to Sunday afternoon and. Yeah, Hugo, I know you're up and about it. The Saints got it done by 22 points against Carlton in front of about 45,000 fans. Was deemed a sellout, still 10,000 off the mark, but, pretty healthy crowd for those two sides. Saints pretty much got it done after half time, worked it out in the third, and then just held on in the last quarter and secured the victory. Hugo, I know you almost struggled to get tickets. You're in standing room at one stage, but got some last-minute GA tickets. What were your thoughts on the game, and how do you think the Saints are tracking?
Oh, to me, that win sort of solidifies St Kilda as the real deal. I've touched wood, obviously, but I think we're tracking really well. I think we're ranked the number 1 defence in the competition. I think we've conceded the least amount of points by it's close to 100 points. To second best. We're in. I'm really happy with how the Saints are going.
He's still on top of the ladder after what round 6 we just played?
Yeah, round 6.
After 6 rounds, there you go.
Yeah, and I mentioned him before, but Macheta Owens, for me, I really think he should be winning the Rising Star. Not to knock Harry Cheese or Will Ashcroft, they've obviously been superb this year, but I saw a stat last night. Macheta Owens is playing 127% above expectation for a 20-year-old key forward. So, if you're playing a little bit above average, just 1% above average, it's obviously 1% better. And if he keeps going at this rate, it would be the greatest above expectation performance for a season ever.
How do they calculate that percentage?
It's sort of based on stats, obviously, like the sort of disposals, contested possessions marks, all that sort of thing. And, you know, I think he's up top 5 in the competition roughly for just contested possessions. I might be making that one up, but he's up there. You know, he's averaging 17 points on disposals game. Like, he's been elite this year for just a 19-year-old, which makes me feel a bit crap being the same age as him, just watching him. But no, that's all right. He's going awesome, and, you know...
But here's the difference, right? You're a Hall of Famer, he's not.
Oh, yeah, no, he's a first lock Hall of Famer, Machado. But, yeah, I was... And to me, it just solidified St Kilda's the best defensive team in the competition. That's the best back six. I know you scoffed at me a couple of weeks ago for saying that, but I was really happy with how the Saints went.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, they're fine, the Saints.
Great seeing them beat Carlton. Pretenders Carlton.
Beat 2
Yeah,
of the 3
and like
Cs.
Saints, they keep proving, like with the injury list, they keep proving that they're like you look every week for them to go, this could be the week where but they keep just getting it done. And you know their injuries it's crazy, and they got blokes like Jack Steele hampered by injury playing like through it, and all these young boys. You mentioned your Machado Owens and guys like that. They haven't just everyone's playing well. Dan Butler kicked 3 on the weekend. Like they're all going well.
I tend to agree as well. But I just want to speak about Carlton just for a sec because they're an interesting case because obviously last year they pretty much lost the unlosable in terms of making finals, and they started strongly this year. And I know I did, but I'm certainly a lot of people thought that like a genuine chance, like a fair chance for like top 4, let alone top 8. But they've obviously got the last 2 Coleman medalists in Charlie Curnow and Harry Mackay, so they're kicking goals. But I saw a stat the other day. They're Carlton as a side, ranked number 18, so last in the comp for attack through the middle. So using the ball through the middle to score from. So they're not really giving those guys the best chance possible. And I think really Carlton just probably need to find a few more avenues to go and not rely so much on Mackay and Curnow, because obviously it takes a full squad and a lot of depth in your forward line to make finals and go deep, and I think that's going to be the issue they're going to find a lot. But in saying that as well, they just need to give them a bit better of a chance, I think. But interesting to get you boys' thoughts on that as well, because they started really well and all as a midfield group as well, and they've sort of dropped off, particularly Paddy Cripps in the last couple of weeks, I reckon. So
I saw an interesting stat on Curnow. It was a bit. I think Hugo knows it better than I do, but it's to do with his free kicks, and most of his goals are from free kicks.
21 goals this year, 16 directly from free kicks.
There you go.
that's. I was watching it the other day and I was thinking, geez, he gets a lot of goals and a lot of scoring shots from free kicks rather than just big pack marks and stuff like that. So depends how you look at that, I guess.
Well, yeah, with that win, the Saints keep top spot once again. But yeah, now we'll move to Monday and Anzac Day Eve game. 83,000, I believe, in the house for that match, and Richmond had Melbourne on the ropes for a fair bit. They led for 70 minutes of that game. In the last quarter, a young guy by the name Jacob Van Ruin, which I know Blair and Connor, you've been very fond of, on his way in, and he kicked 3 goals in the last quarter, and I heard Goody say that had he not taken that first mark, he would have been subbed out of the game. So yeah, what is that game? I suppose you had potential to win that game. I can't even speak.
The chili's still affected in there.
had potential to get that win, and then the D's just do it in the last quarter.
Yeah, I mean, look at Jacob Van Ruin. I did a match report on this game, and look, he was having a dirty night until the last quarter. I think it's fair to say, and Goody said that. He was struggling, and a couple quotes just here. Goody said he was pretty much coming off at his next rotation. We were about to sub him out. He's like, thank God we didn't do that. But he took his chance in the last quarter. I think I wrote in my match report, but it really hurt. Obviously, we subbed off Ben Miller, and then that meant Noah Bolter, who had locked Van Ruin down all game, went to the ruck, and then Van Ruin gets off the leash in the last 15 minutes, kicks 3 goals, 1, 4 shots in a quarter and in 10 minutes for that matter. And a good grab, but apart from that mark, like, he was sort of just like running a bit free, and it was a bit disappointing to lose like that. You know, you lose by 18 points and he's kicked 3 in the last 10 minutes. That's your difference there. But yeah, I mean, credit to him. He took his opportunities. I was really impressed with, like, if we just look aside from Van Ruin for a sec, Kay Chandler kicked 3 as well. And he's another one that was pretty impressive and probably hung around a bit more all game. Really got into it in the third quarter. But yeah, Van Ruin, it was really the dagger. And I mean, yeah, he probably needed that for him. And I think he's got a lot of talent. But yeah, Goody said a lot about trying to get him into the game over a longer period of time and hang by it and keep working. So yeah, it was credit to him. He finished off real well and put the dagger.
Yeah, he looks a good player, and that's like, it's honestly a bit of salt to the wounds for Richmond fans to see that, like, he was going to be subbed off because he was struggling. But to be honest, I think obviously he had big moments late, but him and Kay Chandler, I think, actually had pretty average games, both of them. Even Kay Chandler, he just got some free kicks. Like, he got a couple free kick goals and pretty much gifted goals, like, down the field. So opportunistic, I guess, and those goals, I guess are the difference in the end. So I guess you have to give him a bit of credit there. But it's obviously disappointing as a Richmond fan to lose honourably. But I'd probably look past this game a little bit and proud of the effort, to be honest, with the players who were missing. But yeah, it's more so other games like the Doggies game and even Carlton back to round 1 where, you know, we really should have won those games. But, you know, we certainly won't be 16th for much longer. We'll be moving up. In the next 5 weeks, I reckon we'll be close enough to the top 8.
Yeah, and then obviously to close out the round, Collingwood and Essendon, second biggest home and away crowd in history, and then obviously the biggest Anzac Day crowd in history. And, you know, being there, like, at the game, the atmosphere was just through the roof. Like, that last post just always gives you shivers in the minute silence. But if we're looking at it, Collingwood 28 points down at 3/4 time. They come back and win by 13 points. And Nick Dacos, I know, you know, 40 disposals, 2 goals. You know, I think people are running out of superlatives to describe the guy. But it brings me to my question that I was going to bring before. So obviously we spoke about Jeremy Cameron before, and then now we've got Nick Dacos. Who, boys, is the best player in the competition? You can say anyone other than the two of them. Hugo, I know you'll probably mention a Saints player, so
Cal Wilkie.
Yeah,
Mason Wood
there. but yeah, boys, yeah, I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, Jeremy Cameron, without being biased, damaging player. You know, yeah, just I could go all day saying how he's the best player, but I honestly think he, by far, is the best player in the comp.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't listen too closely.
Who's the best player in the comp?
Geez, that's actually pretty tough. Yeah, well, probably Jeremy Cameron based on current form. Nick Dacos is not far off though. He can't really do much more. Actually, no, Nick Dacos, why not? He can't do anything more than he's doing. He's probably the best, currently speaking.
I think the best player still not playing at the moment is Max King.
Based on the form this year, Hugh.
He hasn't missed a shot this year, so. I'd probably lean towards Cameron, begrudgingly. But like Dacos' game, like the 2 goals came in the last quarter when Collingwood needed him. That was awesome.
Yeah, I think Jeremy Cameron is the best player in the game at the moment through his sheer, like, he's getting mid-20 disposals and he's kicking 6. And the impact is
it's more about the impact rather than the stats. More about the impact.
And like Dacos in his role, he can't do any more. And like right now, I think Jeremy Cameron's the best player in the comp. Do I think he's leading the Brownlow? No, I think Dacos is leading the Brownlow. And I think if he keeps going like this, he has to win it. I don't think he can get 40 and 2 goals. And it doesn't matter what people say about him, how people criticise him. I'm not the biggest fan of Dacos himself, but no way can I sit there and say he's just racking up troop touches. Like he's getting a lot of the ball. He's doing what his team requires him to do. That's his job. and to have a bit of impact and kick 2 goals. And his 2 goals, I think you'll find it's just from pure fitness and gut running. He is that much fitter. He's a level above lots of these guys he's playing on. And that's why we're talking about people and clubs going like, look, we need to tag Nick Dacos, because it's just his fitness. Like, I think one of his goals, he just got front and square, the goal square. His man was nowhere and just dribbled it through. But he's having an incredible season.
Yeah, just on Dacos, and again, not his own pill or whatever people want to say. It's just smart coaching from Craig McRae. Like, obviously his weakness is the contested pill, but if you got someone who's that damaging by foot, why would you not just feed him? It's just really smart coaching from Craig McRae, I think.
Yeah, and you got blokes like Tom Mitchell and that, they're getting a bit more in and under. Even like Pendles is always outside execution, but like Sidebottom really lifted in the game. He had a ripping game, 31 and a goal. But Dacos you can't fold him every week. He just keeps serving up 35, and to kick a couple goals is the thing he hasn't been. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah, for sure. You certainly can't underestimate the impact of Tom Mitchell, I reckon, as well. Like, he's not getting as much of the ball, but his impact's just so much more, and is making players a lot better around him. So I think Collingwood, out of the trade period and stuff, they've got everything they hope for and more, pretty much. And it will be interesting when Nick Dacos moves into the midfield more. You'd expect him to go pretty well still, but it'll be a different dynamic, and he'll get a few more hits on the body. He'll be a bit more physical, and I know you're gonna have to win your own footy a little bit more. Yeah.
Do you guys think that he should be tagged? When your side comes up against him, if you're coach, are you tagging him?
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
I think it has to be done.
I think Adelaide are thinking of getting Ben Keys to tag him in this Sunday's match, but definitely got to tag him because he's distributing the ball really well and been damaging play for Collingwood for the last 6 rounds. So why not give him a bit of a tough game?
I think
you definitely have to. You got to get your best runner, whether he's like a bottom 5 player on your team, and just say shut down this bloke and
just run with him,
go everywhere he goes, and give him hits. Not sort of unfair off the ball, but really make him think that him think that it's not going to go all his way on the day. But it's obviously a lot easier said than done, and I'm sure teams have tried that to some extent, but there hasn't been a full tag. You wouldn't have said.
Nah.
Yeah. Well, last time the Pies played Adelaide, Nick Dacos had 3 and 40. So yeah, it might.
It's just like, I think Tuesday's game, that was the last straw for me saying he has to be tagged. Like I've said before, oh yeah, maybe not. I think he got something like 605 metres gained, which I averaged it out with his, it's 15 metres per disposal. Yeah. So he's not biting off 45 metre kicks inside the corridor, but every kick he does, he used it 40 touches. He used that 80%. Yeah. That's damaging. I don't care if you're chipping it. If you're using it that well, that's damage. So, get someone on him.
Yeah, and
a scraggler.
Just before we move on to the certainties, over his 31-game career, average of 28 disposals, using it at 83%. All right, now we'll get on to the certainties of round 7 and, get your tips, boys. So I'm going to read through the games if you guys want to then read through your tips from there and your certainties, and we'll go from there. So Saints take on Port on Friday night. Then we've got Brisbane Freo, the Sydney Derby. Then we've got Dogs Hawthorn. We have also got Melbourne, North Melbourne, West Coast Carlton. Essendon taking on Geelong in the annual country match. Richmond and Gold Coast at Marvel. And Adelaide and Collingwood to round out the round. Owen, we'll start with you if you want to get your tips in.
Yep, all right. I'm going to go Saints to beat Port Friday night. Brisbane over Freo. Swans over GWS. Bulldogs over Hawthorn. Melbourne over North, and that's my certainty. Carlton over West Coast in Optus Stadium. Then on Sunday, this will be a good game. I reckon Geelong will beat Essendon, but it'll be a challenge, that's for sure. Richmond over Gold Coast, and this is going to be a good game. I'm going to say Collingwood over Adelaide, but I wouldn't be surprised if Adelaide won as well. It'll be a good contest. Can't wait to watch that one.
Yep. I'll go St Kilda over Port. It's too good, I think. Brisbane over Fremantle. Fremantle in a lot of strife. Sydney will bounce back hard, beat GWS. Doggies will beat Hawthorn. Melbourne over North Melbourne, and yeah, that'll be my certainty as well. I just can't see it going any other way. I think Carlton will get it done, but West Coast are a bit of a smoky there, and Carlton aren't great away from home, so that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Geelong will beat Essendon. Hopefully the Tigers will beat Gold Coast, but Marvel Stadium, we don't play the best there. It's probably not the best time to get them there, but anyway, is what it is. And Collingwood over Adelaide in the match of the round.
Yeah, I'll go the Saints over Port, Brizzy over Freo, Swans over the Giants, Dogs over Hawthorn, Melbourne over North, that'll be my certainty as well. West Coast over Carlton, Geelong over Essendon, Richmond over the Suns, and Pies over the Crows.
West Coast to beat Carlton there. That's not bad from you.
Nah, I just hate Carlton.
Yeah, Saints to beat Port. There's lots of games this week. It's interesting that you boys all went the same certainty. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting because there is a lot of games probably that look like they could be blowouts as well. Saints beat Port. Brisbane should pump Freo. Sydney to beat Giants. Dogs to beat Hawthorn. D's to beat North. Carlton beat West Coast. Geelong beat Essendon, but Essendon will have a crack. They need to bounce back a bit. And Tigers should get up against the Suns. I'm going to go the Crows to beat Collingwood. And my certainty of the week, I'm going to dabble a bit here. I'm going to go Sydney to beat Giants as my certainty. I think they have to be a fair dinkum. Giants lost to West Coast earlier this year. If Sydney are fair dinkum, and they're actually going to have a crack.
And they're going to have to bounce back from last week.
They have to show something. If they lost this week, it would be incredibly disappointing. Not even as a general AFL fan, they're coming off a grand final, pumping. They made the grand final last year. They're a good side. They're a lot better than that crap they served up last week. They should beat Giants. They're better.
All right.
Definitely.
Now, I'm not going to forget about it this time. Take it away with Supercoach.
Oh, yes, of course. We'll quickly go through it.
Do we want Mansell's certainties first?
With the NBA when we get to
okay,
it.
yeah. Right.
So, with round 6 Supercoach results, Blair defeated Connor. Connor is now 0-6 for the season.
Yep, no surprise.
No surprise there. Comfortable win for Blair. And I beat Hugo. Not 100 points, so comfortable, I guess. They were the results. And the ladder as it stands, I'll quickly just get to it. I'm sitting on top. Hugo second, Blair third, Connor last. Connor, hasn't got a point yet. Blair has improved his percentage and is right behind Hugo. And that's, I guess, the matchup of this week, Hugo against Blair. If Blair wins, they'll be equal on points, and Blair might sneak up on percentage and take second place. And I've got Connor this week, so we'll see how that one goes. But
It's tough.
Any major changes, boys, with your teams for this week, or we're pretty settled?
Not settled at all. I think I made 8 trades last week just to try and make things work and really bump the projected up, if nothing else, And it bumped the projected up, but I end up getting a worse result. So I'm that far in that I really don't know what to do from here. I don't have a strategy that's worked. I can't think of a strategy that will work. Look, I'm in all sorts, and I'm just gonna have to keep switching around the magnets until one week it comes off. But I don't know. It's not been a fun year. For my draft, but the Classic's going pretty well still, but unfortunately this is not Classic.
Yeah, I think I brought in Lockie Weller and took out Brendan Cox. I think I brought in someone else, I can't remember, but
Lockie Weller's a good in. That's underrated. That's good by you.
Pretty happy with my team. 2-0 against Blair this year. He just lacks soul against me. Lacks ticker.
I'll
gets
remember that.
intimidated.
He'll
gets
remember that one.
intimidated. So no, I'm looking forward to another win.
Hugo beat me by 21, thanks to Josh Ward actually having a good game for once last time.
True, it was. That's all it took.
So look,
I've just been asked on Josh.
I've
Well,
lost
he's had
by-
a couple of good games.
I've lost by 21
He's average.
in round
Second
4.
player.
Round 5, 2,068 beat on by best part of 300.
Yeah, that was an incredible round by you.
Round 6, look, I dipped a bit. I still beat Connor by nearly 200. Won 730, and I had Cozzy 16 counted for me, which, Cozzy, look, if any of you boys want him, Rhonda, after the weekend, I'm not sure he can keep a spot in my team.
Yeah, I don't think so.
16.
Yeah, didn't Jaden Short tear him up? Jaden Short had 32 disposals in Cozzy.
Look,
Didn't get a kick.
I got an easy win against Connor. I was pretty disappointed with a few of my performers, especially my forward line. In my forward line, I had Papley 63, Sheasel 53, and I had Cozzy 16 as well. So that's not what's that? That's just over 103 players.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of got 730, but Jaden Short on the bench 130. But yeah, I'm coming. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I've won 2 in a row and a narrow loss before that. I think I've got the side right. And yeah, I'm looking forward to rectifying that. And Hugo, I'm going to remember that, mate. I'm going to remember that, and I'm going to have a written letter when I win. A written letter when I win. So,
Yeah, good stuff.
Hope you're ready for it, mate.
We'll get into the NBA talk. A lot's been happening in the finals. Some teams out, some teams progressing to the semis. So yeah, Jackson, take it away.
Well, yeah, so we'll fly through these ones because I am aware of time. And so we'll go. So Denver and Phoenix get it done in 5 games against their respective opponents. Minnesota threatened for a comeback, but that did not happen. So yeah, my call was
Your big call.
was pretty down.
Did they threaten? I'm not really sure.
Oh well, they
did.
It was
nearly
just one
forced game
game.
5.
It
It
was
was
one game.
One game. Was it in overtime too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah,
They
might
gave
be.
Nuggets a little poke and they said that doesn't really hurt. Move on.
Don't poke the bear, they say. And also in 5 games, the Knicks get it done over Cleveland, and Philadelphia 76ers sweep Brooklyn 4-0. In some other games that are going ahead, so it's currently tied at 2 apiece between Sacramento and Golden State. If we look as well, Memphis stay alive and they still trail 3-2 against the Lakers. Miami and Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee have the lead currently
Yeah,
in
10
game
points.
5.
Handy.
Yeah, considering Miami are up 3-1, thanks to Jimmy Butler's 56 points in Game 4. I mean, what a performance that was, if ever you needed one. And the Boston Celtics are up 3-2, thanks to Trae Young's game winner yesterday, which I did watch it and I think, bloody hell, what's going on here? Like, that was just a freakish shot, but yeah, almost makes a petition for the 4-point line. I will give my certainties for this week.
Need 2 as well.
Yeah, 2. I'm going to go Boston in Game 6 against Atlanta, and I'm going to go Golden State Warriors in Game 6 against Sacramento at Dub Nation. So
Okay.
yeah,
And that could potentially be the game to get Warriors through if they win today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now we're up by 5, so
Yeah.
just putting that out there.
It's been a good series.
So yeah, it's the Warriors. You boys slept on them a bit.
Well, I don't think
Nah,
we slept on
I
them.
mean, Connor said they're a VFL side.
Well, okay, well that's Connor.
When?
No,
Nah,
but like the
us.
Kings are, and they're looking really good, especially going into the playoff series. I mean, and they had a really good start. I mean, after winning the first 2, you'd think, oh, gee, it'd be tough to see Warriors, really come back. But a few games at home, and we know what the Warriors are like at home. You pointed that stat out a few weeks ago. But yeah,
And Steph's found a bit of light. He's on 19 points at the moment in the third. But in our wins, I think in our 2 wins, he's sort of dropped a good 10, 15 late and really hit some form in the fourth.
When it matters
When it-
most.
yeah, and he sort
particularly
of-
the last game.
Yeah, splashed a couple. I think 36 last time. So, yeah, for the sake of our boys, if we can get up today and go up 3-2, it's it gives us a real. I don't know NBA that well, but I think other sides probably be a bit nervous. I think we've been there. We did it last year,
they
didn't
are
we?
the
So,
reigning champions. So
yeah, you'd be a little bit nervous.
yeah.
All I have to say is you'd be nervous if you're against the Knicks because I tell you what, they're coming, baby. They're coming. No one's with me? Okay.
They're cool. They're playing pretty well, mate. I don't know. For a Knicks fan, how do you feel now that they've going well? Do you think can they really go all the way, or are you just happy to see how far they can go?
We played very, very well in this series against the Cavs, and a lot of people wrote us off saying the Cavs would comfortably win. And look, if the Heat can beat the Bucks in their series,
It does bode well for you guys.
it does because that means we'd be against the Heat. And I'm not saying Heat's an easy win, but I'd rather play the Heat than the Bucks. That's for sure. So it's in a good position for us right now. It's annoying that the Bucks are in the lead and most likely will win Game 5 as it stands. But look, we're looking really good as a team. We all work well together, and it's really good to watch.
Yeah. Alrighty, I think we're ready to go. Yeah.
Easy. All right. Good episode, boys.
Absolutely.
Thank you to all the listeners out there and viewers. Make sure to follow us on the socials, and we'll see you all next week.